Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining for another Super Bowl edition. This week's video is including of dips. I love to make dips for lots of parties and especially for the Super Bowl. I included a 7-layer dip, a hot Italian dip, a loaded baked potato dip, as well as a chili cheese dip. I went ahead and threw in another recipe in this video as well. It's a pigs in a blanket recipe and it goes so good with a chili cheese dip, so I want to go ahead and make sure I included that with this video as well. If you like this kind of content, give it a big thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't yet, and let's go ahead and jump into all these delicious recipes. We're going to go ahead and start with the hot Italian dip, preheating the oven at 350, get a small baking dish as well as a couple mixing bowls. You're going to need banana peppers, 2 containers of Boursin garlic and fine herb cheese spread, as well as some Philadelphia cream cheese. I also like to add some of the zesty Italian salad dressing mix, Parmesan cheese, mayo, and some ground hot Italian sausage. After you've added your mixture to your baking dish, go ahead and top it with the Parmesan cheese and zesty Italian dressing mix concoction that we created in that bowl. It's a nice little topping. You're going to pop this in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes or until it gets like brown around the edges and real bubbly. Once I take it out, I let it cool for just a little bit and I serve it with some French baguettes that I cut up. And I think this dip has some of the most fantastic flavor. It's got so many different things going on in it, but it is so delicious. Definitely let me know if you try it in the comments down below. I'm going to go ahead and start with a 7-layer dip. Just get a glass container, doesn't really matter what kind, however you want to serve it. We're going to go ahead and start with our first layer of some refried black beans. I also browned up some chorizo, so I'm going to add chorizo as my second layer. My third one is going to be some Mexican style corn, and then I love to go ahead and add my softer ingredients into Ziploc bags. I find it easier to pipe it in and then spread it so that it does like a really nice even layer without like mixing all of these layers together. So the first one is going to be the guac, and I just use the holy guacamole in the spicy. I just buy it at the supermarket in the produce section. I'm going to pipe this on. I'm going to spread it with a spatula to make it as even as possible. And then we'll move on and do sour cream next. And then salsa, top it with cheese, and it's ready to serve. Next up is one of my all-time favorites, a loaded baked potato dip. I'm starting off by just chopping up some green onions. This is just for a garnish when I do the plating of this dip. You're supposed to have a whole 3 pounds of bacon when making this dip as well. I forgot to pull out an extra 2 pounds of bacon and defrost it from my freezer. So when I made this video, you're only going to see me do the decorative topping of the bacon, but there's supposed to be 2 extra pounds of bacon mixed into the dip mixture. I really hope that makes sense. I will make sure to write all of these recipes down in the description box so that you can actually see it and understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up my bacon into small bits. I'm going to brown this up and then it'll be for my decorations. You're going to go ahead and need 2 large containers. I guess they're kind of medium, but 2 containers of sour cream. I'm going to pull some out and put it into a Ziploc bag and into the fridge so that when I do my decoration, I will have some extra sour cream. I'm going to go ahead and add the sour cream straight into my bowl, and then I'm going to add sharp cheddar cheese shredded into this as well. I don't measure typically, but I will try my best to get a roundabout measurement for you guys on this dip. But it's going to be quite a bit of cheese, lots of sour cream, and this is also when you're going to add your cooked 2 extra pounds of bacon into this dip as well. You're also going to be seasoning it with some garlic powder, pepper, a little bit of cayenne if you want that kick. I prefer it. It's just an option if you would like to have it, as well as some onion powder. So after I seasoned it, I went ahead and popped it into the fridge and let it chill for a couple hours. It's best to let it chill and kind of get a little bit more firm. That way you can manipulate it into a football shape. This year I didn't do the football shape because, of course, I forgot to cook up 2 extra pounds of bacon. So I just went ahead and decorated a football on top while it was in a bowl. I also forgot to mention that I added some Tony Chachere's to this as well. Whenever I got done taking it out of the fridge, I knew it was missing something, and I couldn't think of what I was missing from the last time I made it, and it was the Tony Chachere's. So I'm going to go ahead and let my bacon cool off completely. You don't want it to melt your dip, so let it cool off completely and drain, and then you're going to go ahead. For me, what I did was add the dip into a bowl. I mapped out a football shape, and then I put some laces with the extra sour cream, and then I sprinkled my green onions around as if it was the field. I really hope you guys enjoyed this dip. It's absolutely delicious, especially when you don't forget the extra bacon that goes inside the dip. Next up is the world's easiest chili cheese dip. You're going to need a full block of Velveeta cheese, 2 cans of your favorite kind of chili, or you can make it from scratch. That's up to you. I also go ahead and add 1 can of hot Rotel, as well as half a can of blended Rotel. This is my key ingredient to making a very creamy dip. Adding that blended Rotel really makes this super creamy. Put it on the crock pot on high for just a couple hours until everything is melted. It comes out with pure perfection. It's so good, so flavorful, and has a little bit of spice to it when using the hot rotel. I always serve this dip with 2 dipping component options. One is, of course, a Tostitos scoop, and then my all-time favorite, here comes the next recipe. We're going to go ahead and do some jalapeno pigs in the blanket. Get a dough sheet, some jalapeno spicy Philadelphia cream cheese, some little smokies, some Mexican blend cheese, a little bit of butter, and we're going to go ahead and assemble these, and they dip so deliciously into that chili cheese dip. After you've sliced up your dough sheet for little blankets for your little piggies, go ahead and roll them up, add them to a baking sheet, top it with a very small amount of butter that I already melted, and then pop them in the oven according to the baking directions of your dough sheet. I went ahead and served them up right away with some of that chili cheese dip, and they were a huge hit with my husband, and I love pigs in a blanket for almost any kind of party. It's kind of one of those staples you see often. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing and joining my YouTube family because I would love to see my channel grow and to have you guys around for some more content. As well as leaving me a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about these recipes, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks again so much for watching.